Hi there and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial, where today I am going to be teaching you, yes you, Algebra 1. And in this video we're going to be looking at more multiplying polynomials. In the last lesson we looked at how to multiply a monomial times a polynomial. But now you're ready to begin multiplying various polynomials by polynomials. So more than one term in each part of the product. Let's first start with a little analogy. And it says, let's say you want to send 2 letters in the mail. On each letter, you must place a stamp and an address label. You would place a stamp on the first letter, and then on the second letter, and then you'd place an address label on the first letter, and then on the second letter. Now, each letter is going to have a stamp and an address label on it. So if we transfer this idea over to algebra for finding the product of 2 polynomial expressions, we use a very similar process. Consider the expression on the right. So we have x plus 8 times x plus 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute the first term of the first set of parentheses, which in this case is an x, to every term in the second set of parentheses. So we're distributing that x to the x and the plus 2. And that's why it says x times x plus 2. Then distribute the second term of the first set of parentheses, which is an 8, a positive 8, to every term in the second set of parentheses. So we look like that. And that's why it says 8 times x plus 2. So essentially, you're not distributing, you're double distributing when you multiply a binomial by a polynomial. And what that looks like all in one step is, okay, we have x times x plus 2 plus 8 times x plus 2, and we get our final simplification. And we'll simplify that expression if we can combine any like terms, which in this case we can combine the 2x and the 8x to get 10x. We'll get to more of these in exercise number 1. But for now, the terms in the first set of parentheses could be seen as the stamp and the address labeled mentioned in the introduction. The terms in the second set of parentheses could be seen as the 2 letters that were to be mailed. Just as each letter must have a stamp and an address label, every term in the first set of parentheses must be multiplied by every term in the second set. So in exercise number 1, let's simplify and express our answer as a polynomial in standard form. So we have x plus 5 times x plus 9. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways how to do this. And you're free to do whichever way you'd like. The first way I'm going to show you is something I call the lobster claw. And what the lobster claw looks like works best with a binomial times a binomial. And we have x plus 5 times x plus 9. And I'm going to go to red because red's the color of a lobster. So we're going to go x times x, and that's going to give you x squared. And x times 9, and that will give you 9x. So again, I took my first term of my first set of parentheses, and I distributed it to each term of my second set of parentheses. Now I'm going to do that same thing with my second term of my first set of parentheses, positive 5, and I'm going to multiply by everything in my second set. So I'm going to do 5 times x and get 5x, and I'm going to go 5 times 9, and I'm going to get 45. So now if I look at this final solution right here, I could see that I do have 2 like terms, so I bring down my x squared, and 9x plus 5x will give me 14x, and then bring down my 45 as well. So when I multiply x plus 5 times x plus 9, I get x squared plus 14x plus 45. And why is it called the lobster claw? Well, doesn't this look like a lobster claw? It's like pinching the terms right there? I think so. But I promised you I'd show you a second method, and that second method is going to be called the box method. And now we count our terms in the first set and the second set of our parentheses in order to determine what size box we want to draw. So we have 2 terms in our first set and 2 terms in our second set. So we're going to be drawing a 2 by 2 box. So we're going to be drawing a 2 by 2 box that looks like this. 2 boxes by 2 boxes. Now outside the box, we're going to put our first term of x and then positive 5. And then on the top of the box, we're going to put our first term of the second set of parentheses and then our positive 9. And now just like a multiplication table, or maybe in science, if you've done the Punnett square, we're going to go and we're going to multiply where we meet in the middle. So in this case, in this box, we're going to have the product of x times x, and that's going to be x squared. In this box, the top right one, we're going to have x times 9, which is 9x. In this bottom left box, that's 5 times x, which is 5x. And finally, in this bottom right box, we have 5 times 9, which is 45. And we can't forget about our signs. This is positive 9x and positive 5x and positive 45. So when I line this up, I look for my largest degree first, my largest exponent, which is x squared. So that goes first. That's going to be x squared. And then I have like terms of 9x and 5x. That will be 14x. And I have 45 as my constant right there. So that's plus 45. And if you notice, we got the same answer in both of these methods. So using either of these methods is perfectly okay with me and probably your algebra teacher. So I would suggest whichever one is easier for you to use. I like to do the lobster claw personally, but I know a lot of people that use the box method as well. So you do you, and that's all I could advise at this point. But exercise number 1 is complete, which means so is this video. And I hope that this video was helpful in multiplying a binomial times a binomial. Stick around for exercise number 2 by clicking on the link provided. It'll take you right to there. Thank you for watching.